morning. Hi, so I'm Don from Exporta, and I know what you're all thinking, that I brought this pallet to demonstrate one of our products, but no, I brought it so that if I do this, you can now see me above the lectern. So yeah, I am standing up. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you today about how you can save a lot of money and the environment by switching from wooden pallets to plastic pallets. So everyone says that wood is good and plastic is bad. So I'm just going to check, is this true? Is this fact? So I'll take you through the process and hopefully we'll decide together whether it is or whether it isn't. So wood is good, is it? So where does wood come? Wood comes from trees, and trees are good. But trees are cut down to make pallets, and that leads to deforestation. And deforestation is not good for the planet. It leads to global warming, and we all know what's happened in the Amazon rainforest recently about the destruction of the trees. So deforestation itself and cutting down trees isn't a good thing. Wood itself cannot be fully recycled. It can be reused, but it cannot be recycled. It is biodegradable, but most of it tends to go into landfill or is burned. So as far as being environmentally friendly, it's not that great. And plastic, well, everyone says that plastic is bad. So yeah, plastic isn't biodegradable, and the waste is bad, and there is a real problem with plastic waste in the countries around the world, polluting the seas. But we've got so much plastic around, we don't know what to do with it. But one of the benefits of it is that waste plastic can be recycled, and we can turn this waste plastic into plastic pallets. So what we do is that we can collect waste plastic from wherever the source may be. We collect it for recycling. It is taken to a recycling centre, and we have a recycling centre in the UK where it is ground into pellets. Those pellets are therefore taken, could be any product that's taken and turned into products. Those products are used for the lifetime of their, whichever that be. For plastic pallet, the lifetime, I'll go into a bit more detail of that, but it is quite extensive. But at the end of the life, we can then recycle those pallets again into more pallets or flower pots or containers or other plastic products. So the whole thing about the plastic is that it is a sustainable resource that you can keep using. So the idea is to take up the waste and to really reuse it to something. Ourselves at Exporta, we offer a free plastic recycling scheme for our customers, potential customers. We've done it in partnership with Plastic Expert, and we will collect your products at the end of life. We will take it through that process, that cycle, and recycle it for free, turn it into granules, which then make new plastic products for. A Plastic Expert, they are the experts in recycling, and that's what they do, deal with plastic recycling. So I'm going to go plastic against wood. So again, I'm going to compare the two on a couple of different scenarios. So plastic, it is a lot lighter than wood. Wood can be very heavy. So when it comes to things like air freight, where weight is a big issue, maybe conveyor systems, wood can be a problem with the weight. Plastic pallets are inherently waterproof. The water doesn't absorb, whereas wooden pallets will absorb moisture. They will expand, they will contract in the heat. They will also get heavier as they absorb the water. Plastic pallets do last longer. Plastic isn't biodegradable, it is tougher, and it doesn't break in the same way. Wood, therefore, has a much shorter lifespan as a pallet, and the use of it is much shorter than plastic. Plastic is very hygienic. You can have specific pallets for hygienic usage, for pharmaceuticals and food industries, where they can easily be cleaned and they're kept free from germs, whereas wood, it is a natural product. It can be easily contaminated. It can have insects, it can have mold and various things, especially if it's been subject to weather. For export, you need certification for your wooden pallet. That pallet has to be heat treated and it has to be certified that it hasn't been contaminated. And this is a regulation which is ISPM 15, and plastic pallets are actually exempt from that. So you don't need any certification or any documentation. You can use plastic to export. When it comes to plastic, there is so many different options, so many different types of plastic pallets, so many different uses that you can use it for, different designs, whereas a wooden pallet is pretty much a wooden pallet. There's not much variation between it. With the plastic, you can be specific for the purpose, specific for a weight, for dynamic load, for whatever you need, for size, and everything. Whereas wooden pallets are not uniform. They're prone to failure. If there's a knot in a particular place, they could fail. Whereas plastic is designed scientifically to make sure that they will, and they're tested to make sure they fit for the purpose they're designed for. Plastic itself, yes, it is non-biodegradable, so that is one of the big disadvantages. But again, if you're using recycled, therefore you're using waste to make it, so you're reusing plastic in there. Wood is biodegradable. It does take a long time to degrade, which is why it tends to get burned and put into landfill. And plastic is initially at point of purchase more expensive than wood. Wood is a lower initial cost, but then you have the lifetime cycle is a lot different. So I'm just going to do a little bit of it. So plastic and wood, yeah, of all the pallets that we sell at Exporta, 98% of ours are made from recycled materials. So we do sell a small percentage where a virgin plastic is needed for normally food and pharmaceutical, but on the most pallets, including wood, 98% are made from recycled materials. I'm just going to do a cost comparison because I've talked about the environmental aspects of why plastic can be better, but when it comes to cost benefits, this scenario here is what we have is a pallet with a 1 ton load requirement, dynamic load. It's a standard pallet, 1200 by 1000 millimeters. It needs to be rackable. It's in a closed loop operation, doing about 6 trips per week to and from the company's units, and they need 1,000 of them, to fulfill that at any one point in time. So we start off the purchase price. So the purchase price of a plastic pallet for that kind of load would be around £40, whereas you could probably get a wooden pallet for £10. So initially you've got a high purchase price. You see £40,000 for the 1,000 pallets against 10,000, and that often puts people off looking at that in the first instance. When you compare the trips per week and how many pallets you're going to need to do the trips for the full year, and plastic pallets, the difference in the average life between a plastic pallet and a wood pallet is quite significant. An average plastic pallet has been proven to do at least 250 trips, whereas a wooden pallet is about 6 trips before it needs repairing or replacing. So that's 42 weeks you could use 1,000 plastic pallets that you bought, as opposed to 1 week for the wooden ones. So the total pallets required would be 1,238 plastic pallets as against 52,000, which means you have to replace them every week for the wooden pallet. Cost-wise, you're looking at 50,000 against 500,000. So when you take into the lifetime of that pallet over that period of time, the plastic pallet makes a lot more sense. You get a lot more use for it, and a big cost saving. Now this will vary. Even if I'm 50% out one way or the other, that cost difference is still massive. I'll look at another. So the initial outlay is high, but when the lifetime cost, it just makes a big difference. And we've worked with customers to try and make them understand this, because what puts people off is the initial cost. Second scenario, this is air freight. So this is where you're buying a plastic pallet and you're never going to see it again. It goes overseas and it's gone. So we're using a standard Euro pallet here, 1200 by 800. Particular pallet we picked is from our range, and these have been sent to India, and this is working with a particular customer who's done this cost comparison. So the cost per pallet for the plastic pallet, £8.65 is what they were paying, and the cost for a wooden pallet that they would buy was £7.50. So yes, there is an increase in cost. But the shipping per pallet, because of the volumetric airway weight calculation, was half the price of using the plastic pallet with the goods as opposed to using the wooden pallet. This basically made the cost per pallet £16.50 against £22.50, which is a saving of 28.2%. Same calculation, but on a longer leg and a more expensive leg, trip to South Korea, we're looking at a difference of 35% saving with the plastic pallet against the wooden pallet. So even then, where you never see the pallet again, there's still a real argument to use it. It may not be quite the same for your shipping by sea, but there's definite advantages here. And so the quote from the customer on this was that the study they did concluded that our plastic pallets was the way forward. So they did a trial, they've done it, and now they're swapping completely from wood to plastic. Here's another customer who we calculated their return on investment. It's an automotive company, and based on that calculation, their payback period was about 13 weeks, which is pretty good for any investment that you make on there. So in conclusion, plastic pallets are recyclable. 98% of the ones that we sell are made from recycled material. They don't require trees to be cut down. They can be made from waste plastic, which helps sort out a pollution problem. They're more versatile and accurate and suitable for various scenarios, probably not every. There are really good reasons to use wood, but for certain ones, plastic is better. The initial cost may be higher than a wooden pallet, but the lifetime cost is a lot less because of the greater durability. And the payback again can be very short, given significant savings. So everyone says that plastic is fantastic. No, really is. Well, it wasn't me that said it, it was Barbie. Barbie says that plastic is fantastic. Just a little bit about Exporta. Plastic pallets is our core product. We do containers, we do wooden pallet collars, racking, shelving, lots of load securing. I've got an announcement this, so we were e-commerce awards finalists this year, but actually that was on Wednesday night and we won an award. An award was for our Business Plus account, which is a account for our customers, which gives discount and a loyalty scheme behind it. So yeah, we do products, there's quite a few different things. We won Green Apple Award for the environment, and we are ISO 14001 environmentally accredited. So we do claim to be environmentally friendly, but we have the backing behind that with our accreditation and certification. So, thank you. If there's any questions, come visit us on stand 6C220.